And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
Joining us today on Car Clinic is Jason Mase, Ford's marketing manager for crossover utility vehicles, including the 2011 Ford Edge. Jason, welcome to Car Clinic. Tell us about the 2011 Edge.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. 2011 Edge is a real exciting new product for us. For 2011 model year, we're introducing the Edge in Chicago, and the vehicle features a dynamic exterior design update, tremendous new interior, and two things I'm really excited about. One is our new exclusive My Ford Touch technology, and three new engines, which include some tremendous power options and unsurpassed fuel economy in the segment.
Let's go to My Touch first.
Sure.
And My Ford Touch, is that similar to Sync?
You bet. So if you recall, Sync, for your listeners, it's a wireless or hands-free connectivity in the vehicle, so you can bring your mobile phone or an MP3 player. And the whole idea of that was to keep your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road, and it's been a real successful technology for us. What that did is it brought all your devices, your things you brought in with you, and connected to the vehicle. But we were looking for a real easy way for folks to kind of connect to the car itself, meaning find things in an easy way, not a lot of knobs and switches, very clean look in the vehicle. And that's what My Ford Touch technology does. It lets you use voice commands, some simple controls on a steering wheel so you can keep your hands on the wheel, or real vivid colored touch screens, which allow you to get the information.
So it's like taking your desktop with you, except in a safe fashion.
That's a great way to describe it. If you think about it, it's real easy to get distracted if you bring a lot of those devices in the vehicle. So Sync, first and foremost, lets you do all that with voice commands so you can keep focusing on the road. But the My Ford Touch, here's a good example. Most folks are used to a 5-way switch, which is on most cell phones or remote controls at home for your cable.
Right.
We put those on the steering wheel so you can kind of navigate through basic vehicle controls. You never have to leave the steering wheel, so you can get to your climate, your audio, anything you want to do in a real clean and easy way.
Let's talk about the engines. You spoke of 3 different power plants. Give us an overview of those 3 plants, including the horsepower. The torque is where I'm really interested in, because torque equates to MPG. Can you have both?
You sure can. As a matter of fact, we unveiled that we have a 3.5-liter V6. That's our bread and butter power pack that's been in the vehicle since it launched. But we've added twin independent variable cam timing, and what that does is it basically lets the vehicle breathe a lot better. By doing that, we're up to 200 best-in-class 285 horsepower.
Wow.
And on the highway fuel economy, 27 miles per gallon, which is no one can beat it in the segment, so that's unsurpassed. So you can have horsepower, you can certainly have the torque with it, and you can get the fuel economy at 27 miles per gallon.
Quick question, Jason. Is that a normally aspirated V6?
It is. A lot of folks ask, they don't see V8s in crossovers typically because the V6 technology has become so good. You mentioned torque was important to you. That engine generates over 250 pound-feet of torque, along with those class-leading 285 horsepower. So plenty of motivation to get you going off the line, and then certainly we've geared the vehicle and put advanced technology in the engine. Nothing too exotic, but just some basic technologies to help give that 27 miles per gallon.
So for our listeners and for those who would understand engines to a better degree, as I understand what you're saying, both the exhaust and the intake cams are variable, which means you can control the breathing of the engine, and you can also control the torque curve that it produces at certain RPMs. That's
exactly right. And you think about the other things you can do to deliver fuel. If you put the final drive ratio, the right rear axle ratio with it, and the gearing, and you do things like we have aggressive deceleration fuel shutoff, where essentially the vehicle will kind of coast a little bit, and then the engine will come back on when it needs to power you up. There are things you can do with intelligent engine controls to kind of help manage the fuel economy without necessarily having to get too exotic on the hardware. Ford Edge and Ford Edge Sport, what's the difference? The Ford Edge Sport, actually, that's the second engine we offer on the vehicle, which is new for 2011 model year. It features a more aggressive power pack, so it goes from a 3.5-liter V6 to a 3.7-liter engine. And with that displacement change, you move from 285 horsepower to 305 horsepower. And we made that up with paddle shifters on the steering wheel, so a select shift so you can have manual controls on the transmission. Both have 6 speeds, but the Sport delivers more horsepower, a little more torque, and then that manual control through the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. And then that's just the engine story. There's a fantastic difference in the exterior and interior appearance with aftermarket quality of appearance with ground effects and class-exclusive 22-inch wheels on the Sport. Wow. Would you give us a site where are there pictures that are already posted for the Edge, the 2011 Edge? Yeah, actually, you can either find them at FordVehicles.com or you can go into Ford.com, either one, and just type in a 2011 Edge in the search bar, or click on Edge from the drop-down menus off of Crossover Utilities, and it'll take you into the 2011 and show pictures of the Sport as well as the base Edge.
And one last question, Jason. If I go online and I want a certain color and I look at the interior, do we have that option?
We do, actually. We have a number of different configurators online, so you can go through and kind of put a spec together that you like. By the way, we mentioned there was a third engine on the Edge that's coming. It's a 2-liter EcoBoost technology. So here in Chicago, we confirmed it's the first North America produced vehicle that'll have 2-liter EcoBoost technology, so a 4-cylinder displacement, turbocharged to help deliver even better fuel economy than that 27 miles per gallon I mentioned on the V6.
Well, the EcoBoost technology, and Brett Hines has been with us before, and we've had some experience with an understanding of the EcoBoost. I think not only is that, from a marketing standpoint, easy to understand and applicable for where we are in going green, but to be able to put together clean engines, more horsepower, more torque, more MPG, and wireless communication as you drive. And it sounds to me like Ford's got a handle on what people want, and that's to personalize their automobile, and you're doing it for them. I want to congratulate you and the Ford. The rumor's true. You guys are doing an outstanding job. I want to thank you for being my guest on Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Jason Mase, Market Manager for crossover vehicles, including the 2011 Ford Edge. Jason, thanks again.
Thank you, Bobby.